Christians, I can't help your emotional state that there is absolutely no proof of Moses ever actually existing. That you will take anything that is close or similar and make it into the existence of Moses and try to make that become proof that Moses actually existed. Now, they say that there are many artifacts that are kept away from the public. Well, that's conspiracy theory. In the same way, I can say that there are many artifacts that prove that Moses never existed and is kept from the public as well because of the power of the Christian religion. So to say there are artifacts that's not available to the public is just a way of being a conspiracy theorist for Christianity and not having any real proof. Now, you spoke about the mountains of Ararat. The mountains of Ararat is what you're talking about as far as the ark concerning Noah. Well, I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that yes, I have been over that area. I have not actually been on the ground. I will give you that. But when I was in the Marine Corps, I did get on a flight. We flew over the mountains of Ararat, and initially, because I had read Ron Wyatt's work back then, I thought that this might have been where the ark had came to rest. But even before I read papers and read scholarly work on that area, to only find out that those are naturally occurring rock faces, on that flight, I noticed that there were many, many areas over the Mount Ararat that had that same configuration, which is one of the reasons why it is widely known that those are not that is not the resting place of the ark, that is a naturally forming rock formation. Now, as far as artifacts of Moses, there are many artifacts that showed from the Merneptah Stele that Israelites existed in 1208 BCE. But that does not verify Moses, because the Moses time frame would have been much later than that. Well, much earlier than that. Then you have other steles that talks about the Shashu nomadic people who worship Yahweh. Now, because they mention Yahweh, you assume that these Shashu people are the Israelites. But the other people who were nomadic people during that time frame who worshiped the Canaanite god Yahweh also consisted of the Canaanites themselves, as well as the Midianites, who were definitely nomadic people. And even in your story, they mentioned that Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, was a Midianite. So I can use that reference. That reference can be used to identify any of those people who worship the Yahweh God, the Canaanite god Yahweh, the storm deity, the son of El and Asherah, the brother of Baal, who later then becomes El himself, marries and is with Asherah, and then Baal is his son, because as time goes on, the stories change. Any and all other artifacts that you would claim to identify as something dealing with Moses, whether it's the Emperor or the Brooklyn papyri, all of those are easily explained to just say it is proof of the existence of Israelites, but in no way, shape, or form does it prove Moses, or nor does it prove that there were a tremendous amount of Israelites who were living as slaves in Egypt. There were some slaves in Egypt who were Semitic people, but not in the 2 million to which your Bible identifies it as being. And in none of them does it prove Moses. Sigmund Freud was one of the first people to come out and say that Akhenaten was Moses or could have been Moses, but the timelines don't match and the history of those people don't match. So therefore, if it don't fit, you must have quit. So prior to King David, because there is a stone that says the House of David, which could be, not yet confirmed, that David existed. But beyond that, no characters prior to David are there any artifacts or proof that they exist outside of your Bible. But your belief will always cause you to think that these people exist, to use whatever piece of information that you can possibly find and make it fit so that you can say that these people existed, that these events happened. But at no point in time does any outside source or are there any artifacts that prove that any of these people exist. So I know you're in your feelings, but it's okay. You have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.